I love lo-fi hip-hop, but that's not why we're here today. I have a question to begin with. When was the last time you were angry? Like, probably if you've watched any of the Marvel movies, you probably know the line from the Hulk, like I'm always angry type of situation. But seriously, when was the last time you felt your blood boil, or you felt like you were really upset and you knew you were upset? You were very much aware that you were upset and you knew why you were upset. Maybe you did something stupid after that. Maybe you screamed at someone. Maybe you threw something, punched yourself. I remember one time I got so angry, I actually punched my hand on the floor and sprained my ankle a couple of years ago. Like literally, I punched the floor. That was how bad it was. But that wasn't the last time I was angry. But for you, when was the last time you were angry? Can you even remember it? Now let me flip this. Let me ask you, when was the last time you were happy? Like you were happy, you knew you were happy, you could feel the joy. You were light on your feet. You were very much grateful for life. When was the last time you felt those emotions? I was thinking of this video about how to use anger to your advantage, and I started thinking about points I wanted to talk about and share, things I wanted to share with you, or you and like the 50 people who watch this channel out of 5,000. And I wanted to get this structure. But the main message that I had, if you have to skip this video, I'm going to say this, is that I think anger as an emotion gets a bad rap. And the reason why I put those two, anger and joy, or anger and happiness, together is because we sometimes, I think, as a race, and people want to suppress your feelings, so you don't really feel anything fully. You're never really angry. You're never really happy. You're never really sad, because people will not allow you to have any real feelings. If you're too sad, they'll tell you to snap out of it. If you're too happy, they'll bring you down and tell you to remember, you know what, hey, things don't last. You shouldn't be happy because you never know. If you're too happy, a bad thing could happen. If you're too upset, they'll tell you, why are you trying to change the system? Who do you think you are to be upset about what? And in fact, if you're angry and you're weak, they'll probably even beat you up for being upset. I think we live in a time now where we are not even allowed to feel the full range of emotions, and anger specifically gets a bad rap because I guess people have used it destructively. But I don't think that has to be the case. I don't think that the only way anger can be used is to destroy things, or to make people's lives miserable, or to fight. I think anger is a useful emotion. And I think so because the God who made us will not make us with emotions that could not be useful. In fact, even Jesus himself, and I'm sure anybody who doesn't believe in Christ has clicked away, but even Jesus himself got angry in the temple. And was like, Christ, what are you doing with my father's house? Like, yo, just, he was angry. And if Jesus could be angry, then how can we not be angry? I really want to talk about anger because I think we have suppressed all our feelings, including anger. And in the way that we've suppressed that, we don't feel anything, and we don't feel that anger. We don't actually tap into the power of anger. I think, and in my opinion, that anger points things in your life that are important to you. Now, I want to talk about two kinds of angry people, first of all. You probably know these people. There's the angry person that you know when they're angry. It's coming on their face, they're speeding, they're screaming in your mouth, they're spittle on their face, there's veins popping up. You know that this guy is very upset, or that this lady is very upset. Like, you know it, you see it in their face. They're very angry. It's very clear. They're telling you why they're angry. They're expressing themselves. And then you have the other people. I think that's where I fall sometimes, where you don't know exactly if they're upset, but you can feel the air around them is boiling, like they're about to become Super Saiyan or something. Like there's this aura of like red flaming rage just on this, like, I'm fine. And I mean, I'm sure there's a range of people in between. Like, these are just two extremes: people who are very expressive of their anger and people who just bottle it. And I think there are less and less of these people who express their anger. In fact, I think more people bottle it, and the expression only happens because there's like a fissure in the wall. A fissure in like the container is like can't handle it anymore. So the pressure just, like the pressure is so high that a little bit slips out, and then you get them screaming for like a few seconds. And the person like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. And I think anger points you to things that you should deal with. And if you're attuned with your feelings of happiness, joy, sadness, the whole gamut of emotions, if you're attuned with how you feel about things, then you can use that to point you in a direction. For example, a very specific example, if you're watching this channel, there's a very high chance that you're somewhere in your life that maybe you don't really like everything. Or maybe you do. And if you do, I'm happy for you. Maybe you have a good relationship, but you feel like you could be making more money. Maybe you haven't even started your career yet, and you feel like you should be able to move out of your parents' homes. Maybe you've been able to make some money, but you're thinking, okay, I want to have a relationship. I'm turning 30, I'm starting my life, and I want to have someone to share that with. So there's a level of dissatisfaction that you have at some level. It may not be like a lot of dissatisfaction. I think everybody at some level is sort of dissatisfied, which is why we do the things we do. Because if you're satisfied, like completely, you probably not do anything. But then anger, when you're angry, I think it shows you places in your life that are more dissatisfying to you than others. For example, you get a breakup. After you go to like the denial, like the 7 stages of grief, I think anger is the 6th or the last one. Anger tells you that this relationship was important. It tells you that being in a relationship is something that you value. Because if you didn't care about that relationship, you would not feel anything. When you lose your job and you're upset, or when you're at your job and you're upset, it tells you that you value being a productive member of the community. When you make a video on YouTube and nobody watches it and you're upset, you're angry, then why is nobody watching my videos? It's because you want people to share with the knowledge that you have. Anger, I think, like every other emotion, shows you something that is important to you. But I think we live in a world now where we suppress our feelings, man. We don't want to feel anything. We don't want to feel too much. We don't want to be too happy, too sad, too angry. So we just don't feel. So we don't sit with our emotions. We want to get them out of the way as soon as possible. Find something. Alcohol. Prawn. Stuff. Like the moment you're bored, even a little bit, TikTok. And I'm using anger as a conduit because I think if you're able to start feeling your emotions, including anger, and listening to what it's telling you, because if you are somewhere where you don't like, and I have been in places where I didn't like, and they're just physically, like mentally. Right now, for example, I don't feel like I am at my physical optimal. Like I feel like I've let down my body for so long that I need to do something about it. And I don't mean in the sense of being on Instagram and having abs, that would be great. But in the sense of this body is wine. Like this is my body. I could build this. This is my brain that God has given me with all these gifts, and I could use this. This is me living in a country where I have more opportunity than people who are in other places who could be benefiting from this. And I'm sitting here wasting this opportunity. It makes me mad. It makes me angry. And the thing is, in the past, I've been angry for like 5 seconds, and then I'll just turn around and just do the same thing all over again. But now I want to remember how to be angry. I want to remember this feeling because I think it's important to know and be attuned with how we feel, how we are angry and why we are angry. Now, the caveat to this, and I think the reason why people want to suppress especially anger, is that people tend to not know how to use it. Do not know how to channel that anger into something that can be useful. Where you find yourself living in an environment where people are suppressing you. They don't want you to go up. They don't want to help you. They keep talking down on you. You're pissed. You're angry. But instead of taking that anger and decide, you know what? I'm going to go and work on myself. I'm going to get some skills. I'm going to work out. I'm going to build the life that I want because I'm angry. What do? We just sit. We drink alcohol. We don't do anything. We snap at people who care about us. We're angry at everybody around us. So why would we want to be angry when that's the way we react to it? So how do you use anger to your advantage? I think it's the same way you use any emotion to your advantage. When you're doing something that brings you joy, something that makes you happy. Maybe you love to write. You love to make videos. You love to interact with your family. You love to talk with your friends and connect with people. Maybe you're the kind of person who likes to build relationships and network, and that brings you joy. When you're in tune with the way you feel, and you know that this thing brings me joy, even though it's hard, even though it's difficult, I really enjoy the process, then you do more of it. If your interaction with someone keeps leaving you empty and angry, you don't like them, then you do less of it. The way you use anger to your advantage is to tune in and feel the emotion and observe the context that created that emotion. Was it someone? Was it a set of thoughts? Was it you left your job and then on the way you were thinking about how you're wasting your college degree and wasting your life, and by the time you get home, you're so angry, you're snapping at your kids, snapping at everybody around you? Or was it just the fact that you come to your house and you look at how small your house is and you're like, Jesus, what am I doing with my life? Do you want more? Then you need to remember that feeling, because if you don't, then the next morning you would wake up and do the same thing. You would talk to the same people and you will act in the same way and you will have the same results. But only this time, the sad thing is that life is passing you by. Life is passing you by. There's no way to put it. And I like to remind myself of this every morning when I wake up, about looking myself in the mirror and look at my body, look at myself, look at my bank accounts, like, Kamga, is this really all you can do? Looking at the people I have around me and asking myself, are these the people I care about? Are these the people I want? And somebody can say, okay, that's pretty much obsessive. And you know what? I agree with you. It's quite obsessive for me to be thinking about these things all the time. But I didn't get here and overcome the pain that I had to overcome the past couple of years by being passive. If anything, it was because I was passive that I'm so behind in my own timeline from my own perspective. Because when you are in tune with how you feel about things and you listen and you act on those feelings, even your frustration can become a source of strength. Your anger can become a source of strength. Your sadness of not being able to do what you want because the people who take care of you don't want to give you the money, the time, or the energy to do it. That frustration and that anger, you take that and you put it to work. I don't think it's another way to say this. Anger gets a bad rap because we don't want to feel things strongly. Because when you feel things strongly, then you have the truth of who you are. And at that point, you can't run away from who you are. You can't run away from who you already are, what you want, and how you want to live your life. That's my message for you today. Don't ignore your feelings. Don't use them to destroy people or to destroy yourself. Feel your feelings. Use them to make yourself better. If you don't like where you are, you don't like who you are, take all those feelings and build yourself. Anger for me is a very, very helpful emotion, and I'm just starting to tap into it. And I hope that this helps you realize that every emotion is important, every single one of them. Don't suppress your feelings. Use them. I remember this beautiful imagery that I think his name is Patson. Oh, I forgot his name. He's on TikTok. He's a cool dude. He gives some very spiritual, like very thoughtful things about stuff. But he said something about emotion, energy in motion. I don't know if it's him or someone else. And the idea was this. His imagery was about a dam. I'm going to leave you with this. Your emotions are like a river. They're flowing. You cannot stop them by putting a wall. If you put a wall, the bank will rise and overflow. What you need to do is to put a dam. The dam will convert the kinetic energy of the river into electricity. So the anger, the frustration, the happiness, the joy, the disillusion, every emotion that you have is flowing. Meditation is actually about observing the emotions, like, oh, here's a feeling. Nice. Oh, here is anger. Nice. You observe the flow. But to build your life, you take that river, put a dam, use it. I hope this was helpful. My name is Kamga. On this channel, I make videos about improvement, creation, and soon Salesforce. If you like what you see, subscribe. If you don't like it, then why did you watch at this point? But seriously, use your emotions and build your life. And let me know in the comment section, when was the last time you're angry? When was the last time you're happy? And how have you benefited from feeling your emotions really? Look forward to reading your comments. I'll see you in the next one.